What's up, Scrappy Peeps? It's Adele from Inkie Quill, and I've got a new series for you today. Yep, can you read it? Can you read it? No, you can't. It's called Up Close and Personal, and this is where I review a product, or I have a little bit of a closer look at how something in the scrappy world works. Now, before I start, have a look at this. I'm going to take you off. Let's go for a little walk. Now, if you know my videos, you know what this one does when the camera turns on. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Yes. Oh, you're so cheeky. Aren't you? So cheeky. So yes, you'll have to excuse the loud noises because someone has decided it's filming time and she wants to destroy that hole. So let's go back over here, back to where the magic happens. There we go. And today, for Up Close and Personal, for our first in the series, I have a combination of two things that a lot of people have talked to me and asked me questions about in the last couple of weeks. So Spotlight contacted me, for all of you non-Australian peeps. Seriously, Frida? I'm sorry about this. I'm very sorry about this. Seriously? Seriously? We're just going to pretend like none of that happened. So today, Spotlight contacted me, and Spotlight is our Australian major chain craft store, and they asked me to have a little looky at their new diamond press tool. And first of all, I thought two things. The first one was I went and did a little fangirl happy dance because it's Spotlight, guys. And then the second thing was I thought, what on earth is a diamond press tool? Because I don't use diamonds in my scrapbooking. They're kind of chunky and slightly out of my budget to use on a scrapbook page, but it's not anything to do with diamonds. It is a die cutting machine, a manual die cutting machine, and it's tiny. It's so compact. So I have a Big Shot, which is also a die cutting machine, and I thought this would be a really good opportunity to kind of compare and show you how to use die cutting machines, and also because a lot of people have asked about die cutting machines and what they are and how you use them, and also make some more DIY embellishments because you seemed to like that last time. So the diamond press tool comes with the tool, so the machine thing. You get a blank folder, and at first I was like, what is that for? But I'll show you in a minute. And then you already get 4 nested dies. You get these ones, which is really cute. So a die cutting machine is a machine, it's like a giant versatile punch. So you can use it to cut different shapes using these metal cutting dies. They're called dies. And then you can also use it to emboss, which is to make a pattern on the paper. So I'll show you that a little bit later on. But let's start with die cutting. So it comes in this little box, and you get your instructions. And that's it. Look at it. It's the size of my hand. It's tiny, which will make it a lot easier to take with you while you're scrapping. Now, let me just zoom you out a bit. Okay, so this is the die cutting machine, and it has this big giant suction cup thing that you suction it onto your desk with so that it doesn't move, and then you use the cranking side handle thing to send your die through. Now, here are the dies, and they're really thin. Okay, so they're very, very skinny. And then you can see I've already used this once. Now, don't panic. This is normal. This will happen. It's the same with the Big Shot as well. What happens is the dies, they do kind of cut into the plastic, and it doesn't hurt the plastic. You can still use it. It's perfectly fine. So if yours does this, don't worry. It's normal. So I am going to have a go at cutting a shape. I did cut one beforehand, just one though, and I'm going to use my scrap box. So this is like a bonus little scrap stash Saturday. So I've got this little bit out of my scrap box, and all you do, these are not adhesive, but they're just taped down using double-sided tape. So I will probably store them like this in a little container because it already comes with the plastic to store them in, which is handy. And the adhesive doesn't hurt, doesn't come off on the die. So I'm going to check that it fits just. I'm going to open up my folder, put my paper in, put my die in. I usually put mine face down. That seems to make sense to me, just because of gravity, I guess. So I'm going to put it face down, whoops, and then just close it up, put it in, but first, oh, careful Adele, I've got a suction cup it, so I just press it and suction it cup, and now it won't move. My camera will move because it's connected to my desk, but this won't move. So I'm just going to put it in and then just whoop, crank it through. Ta-da! And you have a perfect shape. How easy is that? So the thing that I really like about this is how freaking light it is. It's so light, so portable. The only thing, I find that the suction doesn't quite work on my acrylic mat, so I should move this, but underneath is really painty and gross. So I would recommend using this on just a flat, clean, hard surface instead of your actual cutting mat, because it doesn't quite suction as well to the cutting, to the silicone. But yeah, it's that simple. Perfect. So let's try out a few more dies. So the ones that you get with it are these ones, and you have to use them inside the plastic folder because otherwise it won't have enough pressure to press it down with. So I got these ones, and then Spotlight were kind enough to send me some extra ones. So, and there's some fun ones in here. So let's have a look at the dies to start off with. These are the dies that I got sent. So let's see. So there's these smaller ones are called their nested dies. And they're called that because there's several of the same shape that come in different sizes. So we've got some speech bubbles, some bunting, and some hexagons. So I'm going to try some of those. Then these ones are called fashion dies. And this one's butterflies, and some butterflies, leaves, flowers, really cute. And it's got actual size, so that's the actual size they are. And then this one is block numbers. These would be brilliant for project life. Brilliant, because then you wouldn't have to worry about running out, because thickers never ever give you enough ones and twos. It's ridiculous. I'm always out of ones and twos and left with a billion sevens and eights. I don't know why. I mustn't use 7 and 8s very much, but I'm always out of ones and twos, so they'd be very handy for that. So let's try some bunting. You know, I do love some good bunting. Now, I haven't opened these ones yet. And these are all available, will be available at Spotlight. I've got a bit of a sneaky preview. But this Saturday, the 23rd, is their crafty party day. And they are celebrating it at various shops. Come on, out you come. So hang on, I'll check which shops they are. So you can see here, if you check on their website, this Saturday in Victoria, they have some crafty party activities planned, and they've also got the Becky Higgins and Dear Lizzie tour, which I'm going to tomorrow. I'm so excited. So that's on at the moment as well. So these will be available very soon in store. Let's see, let's try. I've just got my scrap box next to me. Let's try a mini bunting. That's so many. All right, so once again, paper. Now you can see if you haven't die cut before, there's a rough pointy side, and then there's a smooth side. So the rough pointy side is the bit that cuts, so that needs to be face down. Close it up. You could use a piece of washi across that if you wanted to, just to make sure that it stayed in the right spot. Crank it through. How simple is that? Cute! Alrighty, let's do a bit of a challenge now and try Let me get a small piece. Let's try this little bit. So this is a great way to use up your scraps. Let's try 2 pieces of paper. See what this baby can do. So 2 pieces of paper down, die face down, check it's not face up because otherwise it will get stuck into your plastic folder. Pop it in, and I always put it in the closed, you got to put it in the closed side first. So the open bit's down here and the closed bit of the folder's there. Pop it in, crank it through. There you go, 2 bits of paper. Ah, they're so cute. All right, now we've tried the bunting. Let's try one of these fashion dies. I'm going to try this butterfly, I think. So you could easily store them in these brown paper satchels in your craft room because it's already got what's on the front for you, which is easy to see. Okay. Oh, and there's a mini butterfly too. Okay. I'm going to try the big one just because I have a bigger piece of paper sitting right here. Now, you've got to be careful that your paper isn't too wide to fit in the machine. So obviously, unlike other die cutting machines, this isn't made for giant dies, but I don't know about you, I prefer the little pieces that finish off a layout rather than the big things. Like I have a couple of huge dies and I don't use them. So I think this would be really handy just to chuck in your bag for a crop. And if you took those little packets, slip them in your craft bag with this, you have got about, how many? A lot. You've got about 30 different shapes that you could punch out just there, just by taking this little guy, which is as big really as a coffee mug, like a large coffee mug, and a notebook. It's not much at all. So paper down, die, rough side down first. Whoop. Pop it in with the closed side first. And I kind of just I usually rest like my fingers on the top just to hold it steady, and then just a thumb on the back just to guide it in a little bit. I'm not pushing it, I'm just guiding it in. And it is done. Pretty! Let's give a go. Oh, hang on. I'm going to keep this butterfly and have a go at some vellum, because I think that would look really pretty. So this way, instead of taking 50 milli, if you're like me, and when you pack if you're like me, and when you pack to scrapbook with someone at someone's house or at a crop or a retreat or whatever, you want to take all the things with you. And quite often, it works. Quite often you can't take all of the things with you, but you want to take all of the things with you. So this is a great option because you can take all of the things with you without taking up too much space. So these are the fashion dies, and I will cut some of these off camera just so you don't have to sit through the whole process. What else have we got? So that's the dies. Then we have these, which I think is really cool because I haven't seen it before. They're the stamps and dies. So in here you get a stamp and you get a freaking die cut. Okay, so let's try this one because I love cameras. So it's up to you whether you stamp first or die cut first. I think I'm going to stamp first. I think that might be easier. So the stamps are an acrylic, are they? Doesn't quite say. I think they're just an acrylic or a clear stamp. So let me zoom you in here. Alrighty, so I've got a scrap piece of paper from my stash. I'm using my Stays On Jet Black ink, which is a permanent ink. I'm going to peel off my stamp, pop it onto my acrylic block. If you'd like a video on a more 101 on how to use acrylic blocks and stamping, let me know in the comments below and I can do that for you. I'm going to stamp it up. Yeah, looks pretty good. It is the first time I'm using it, so often the first image isn't the best image when using a clear stamp, so I'm going to do it twice. Yeah, let's do one more. That's a really freaking cute camera. There we go. And look, all the ink came off. How good's that? So then I'm just going to stick it back here so I don't lose these plastic bits. And then put the ink on, the lid on my ink, because I've been caught out with that before and accidentally put my elbow into StazOn and it doesn't come off straight away. That was difficult for me. So there's my little die. And so I'm going to take the die out, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use some washi for this one. I'm going to use some of my unloved orange washi. I'm going to line this up. I think that's right. And grab a little bit of washi, because washi peels off, so you don't have to worry about your design coming off with it. Just to make sure it doesn't move. So make sure your die is face down. I'm going to get my clear little folder, pop it in, and center through. And this is really easy to, it is really easy. It's easier when you don't try and move it halfway through the process, Adele. So let's have a look. Let's peel off. It freaking cuts bits out. Ah! Okay, ready? Cuts bits out, look. Oh, Adele Butterfingers. Holy moly. That is freaking adorable. That looks like you've bought it. Ah! That is so cute. I love it. All right, so that's one of the stamp and dies, which I think is a really good concept. I've never seen that with a die cutting machine. So, that's so cute. I'm going to make some more of those off camera. I'm going to try one more. I think I might do this love one. I want to try one of the words. So, open her up. Oh, Frida's back at the box. I really do apologise, but it's part of the fun of watching an Inkie Quill video, isn't it? Getting a bit of a cheeky bunny in there. I think I might do a wood grain for this one. Okay, so this one says love in like a cross-stitch type pattern. I'm going to stamp it down, and when you stamp it down, make sure you leave a little bit of space around the outside so that your die can fit, which is always helpful that your die fits around there. I'm going to grab the love one. I'm being lazy and not taking the whole packet out. And I'm going to very carefully line it up. Now this is a lot fiddlier than the camera one, but I think that's going to add to the awesomeness of it. Pop a little bit of washi. I really would recommend putting some washi down if you're doing the stamps and the dies. Makes it a lot easier to make sure they stay in the right spot. Pop it in, folded side first. Sorry if my camera's shaking. Wind it through. Let's have a looky. Oh my. Oh, this is going to be cute. Sorry. How adorable is that? That is so freaking cute. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? I'm seeing something like this. Vellum butterfly, love, bit of stitching, boom. DIY embellishment. I'm going to show you how to make some of those in a minute. But first, one last thing that this machine can do. So you can see I've made an absolute mess all over my desk. So you can have nested dies, which are the same shape but multiple sizes. You can have the fashion dies, which are dies that are not nested, so they're different types of shapes. You can have the mini stamp and die set, which is one stamp, one die. You can have the stamp and dies, which are more than one. And not all of them have a corresponding die, but I think that's fine. The main ones do. And you have these. Or you can buy blank folders as well. So if your folder starts to look a bit shabby, or you break it, or you lose it, you can buy spare dies, and they come in a 3-pack, which is handy because then you won't lose them. I think I might, because I can tell I am going to lose this, I think I might put a little bit of washi tape and washi tape it to the top there just to make sure I don't lose it. But you also get embossing folders. So if you haven't seen embossing folders, I rambled too long, the camera cut out. If you haven't seen embossing folders, what they are they're folders that have a raised pattern in them, so that when you put them through, it presses the pattern into your paper and makes it all raised and bumpy. So we have, in this pack, there's like a wood grain and a petal, and then in the other one we have heart and dot. Spotlight know me well. They knew which ones to send me. So I'm going to try the wood grain first, and I'm actually going to try the wood grain on the wood grain and see how this looks. Now, I always get this wrong. Let me just see. So if you put it in, so you can feel one side has the bumpy bit and the other side is kind of indented, goes in. So if you put the bumpy side this way, the bumps will be pressed up, and that's what I want. So I'm going to put my paper in. You don't need your other folder. This is the only bit you need for this. Or did I make the paper too wide? Nope, perfect. I'm going to pop it in, wind it through. Sorry if the camera shakes. It's all connected to the desk. Can you see the embossingness on that? Beautiful. All right, I'm going to try something tricky now. Hang on. Hold your horses. Get ready. I'm going to get the polka dot one. Okay. Out you come, Mr. Polka Dot. Here it is. And I'm going to run it through this shape that we cut before. Now the raised polka dots are up. So I think the way to remember it is they've got this little blue "Make Something Great," which must be their motto. And I'm going to put that there. Pop it in. Wind it through. Now it's polka dotted. How cute. This would be great for card makers as well, because I can imagine you could do a lot of like churning out large numbers of invitations or cards using the same thing, because you could probably put 2 in here, I'm thinking, at a time. So what I'm going to do is off camera. Mr. Focus, are you wanting to work today, or are you not wanting to work today? What I'm going to do off camera is cut out some more bits and pieces, and then I'm going to show you how to make some DIY embellishments. Okay, so I may have gone a little bit cray-cray with cutting out things, but it's a bit obsessive once you get started. So I've cut out a bunch of shapes. I've cut out some larger shapes to use as the base for my DIY embellishments. I've done some in some sparkly gold. I've done some of the stamps. I've done some of the die cuts for the stamps without the stamps. So what I'm going to do now is connect them in different kinds of ways. So I'm only going to show you a couple, and then I'll make them off camera because it's going to take me forever. And then I'll show you what they look like at the end. So I thought this one would be cute. So this was the nested die set that came with the diamond press. And all I did is this base one. I cut it out first using the nested die, and then I put it back in using the embossing folder, and it's a bit tricky to see on camera, but it's raised polka dots. Then I've got one that I just cut in vellum. I've got one that I cut in a pretty pink cardstock, and then this one I cut and then put it through again using the heart embossing folder. And I'm going to use a little bit of Inkie Gold to raise up that heart. So I'll show you all I'm going to do, because I want to put a bit of stitching through these later, so I don't want to put on too much glue. I'm going to use my, whoa, she says as she squirts on a bunch of glue. I'm going to use my glossy accents here and just stick these down. And then once they're dry, I'm kind of going to ruffle them up a little bit. And actually what I'm going to do for that one is I'm going to grab my Inkie Gold, stick my finger in it, and just really lightly, more than that, Adele. More than that, Adele. There we go. Run my finger over the top so it hits those edges so that you can see the heart. And I might even do it around, you need more, Adele, around the edge here. This stuff's amazing. There we go. All pretty. All right, so that's one type that I'll do. Next up, let's do one of these butterflies, shall we? Now that first one that I showed you, I had this one with this butterfly, and I'm kind of going to, what should I do it that way? No, I think I'll put the vellum on top with a tiny bit of glue, because I want it to be raised up a little bit. I'm kind of going to offset it on purpose so that you can see both bits. And then I'm going to get that little love, put a tiny bit of glue on that. I'm not going to stitch all of them, but there are a few that I do want to stitch. Oh, that's cute. And you could even then attach that to like a larger background piece. Oh, I do like that. Should I do that? Or should I do it to a bit of bunting? Oh, the red. Yep, the red. Easy choice. I am going to stitch through this one, so only a tiny bit of glue. And there you go. Easy little embellishment. And then what else can I show you? Let's do, I thought there's this baby bunting. There's this tiny little bunting here. And I thought it would be really cute to do like a little flag thing. So what I'm going to actually do is grab a scrap piece and just cut off like a strip. And I'm going to stick these haphazardly. Whoop, I always put too much glue. I'm going to stick these haphazardly along here. And then add a couple of the die cuts on top. Because this way they will flap up a little bit. Cute. And then I might put the 27 on this one because I did just turn 27. Whoops! So I can use this embellishment on some of my birthday layouts. If I put 27 like that, and then cut this into like a ribbon end, there's that one. and the stitching will really finish these off. So I'm going to get busy and put some of these together to make various things and then stitch them, the ones that I want to stitch, and I'll show you them at the end. And I am freaking done! Woo! I am in love with these embellishments. Holy moly. They're so fun to make. So I did some little stitching detail on all of them. I was only going to do some of them, but then I got the stitching bug and did all of them. I added some tiny words from my stash from Tim Holtz and some little enamel dots on some of them, and I just think they are the bee's knees. I really do. Look at how cute that one came out. Ah, my favourites. Oh, it's tough. Let me just put that in zoom. It is tough. I reckon I really do like this one. So this was the little bunting banner that we did, and then I just curled the leftover thread and just kind of put it on the back, and I did use my horrid washi tape on the back to seal the leftover threads in. So I love that one. I also love this one where I used some tissue paper to punch out one of the shapes, and then I did the tiny word going off the side. So I think that's a really cute one. And then this one actually worked out better than I thought it was going to be. I had the leftover part for one of the butterflies, and I thought I don't really want to waste it, so I just chucked it on there with a little gold offcut, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, and then this was how this one ended up. This one's another favourite. I think that's just really cute, and I've kind of like ruffled them up a little bit so that they stand up a little bit. So there you go. Double whammy. So there you go, double whammy. How to use a die cutting machine and how to make some DIY embellishments. I hope you really enjoyed it. I'm definitely giving this a thumbs up from me. It's definitely my new favourite die cutting machine. I just think it's the pros that I see for it are that it's portable. It's light. It's so much lighter than the Big Shot. Easy to store, easy to take with you, and I really like the range that they have with the stamps and the dies. I think that's a really cute inclusion that they've got with the diamond press range. So look out in your local Spotlight for these. Not sure how much they are, but they will be on stores, on shelves in the stores very, very soon. And give me a thumbs up if you'd like to see some more DIY embellishments, if you'd like to see some more up close and personal where I take a product or a product, I guess. Yeah, let's just do products and just show you how to use it and how to get the most out of it. So thanks for watching, and if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, please do, because I'm so close to 10,000 subscribers and my heart's racing. It's just ridiculous, and fingers crossed that I can get there really, really soon. I'm hoping to do a giveaway when I hit 10,000. We'll see how we go, and I'll see you soon. Bye! Side note, Aaron's been on hold for 50 minutes to Optus. They've got some very jazzy wait music. Currently sounds a bit like farts, but it's a trombone. I promise. Man hands, jazz hands, hold music.